So students, let us move on to the next part. After covering fusion arc welding, we are going to move to types of resistance welding processes. This will be covered in the video file named Learning Material Video Types of Resistance Welding, Oxy-Acetylene Welding and Solid State Welding, part number E. So let us move on to the different types of welding which are available. As we know, there are basically two major types of welding. Number one is called fusion welding. Number two is called solid state welding. In fusion welding, we have covered arc welding, and now we are going to move on to resistance welding, in which the resistance of electricity is used to heat the material which is present between the electrodes.
Welding. Resistance is the property of the conductor, by the virtue of which it resists the flow of electrons, that is, the flow of current through it. This resistance to the flow of electrons creates friction and heat. This heat generated is then used to join the two similar or dissimilar metals by melting and forming a bond between them. Types of resistance welding processes. 1. Spot welding. 2. Seam welding. Spot welding. Spot welding is also known as the resistance spot welding process. It is used to weld thin sheets of metal together by applying pressure. The heat required for welding is generated by resistance to the flow of current through the electrode. Working principle. The welding electrodes are made up of copper, which is a good conductor of electricity. The movable and fixed electrodes of the spot welding machine are held in pressure on either side of a pair of plates to be welded together. As the current passes, it experiences the resistance between the electrode and workpiece contact and generates heat. This heat causes the interface of the workpiece in contact with another workpiece to melt, and pressure fuses the two metals, thus forming a solid bond. If you are enjoying this video, please give this video a thumbs up, and if you are new to ADTW Learn, click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification to get more informative videos like this. Equipment required. Spot welding machine. Tongs, also known as electrodes. Working of spot welding. When the power is turned on, the transformer supplies the low voltage high current to the electrodes made up of copper. These electrodes are held in pressure against the pair of workpieces to be spot welded with the help of tongs. The current flows from the tongs to the electrodes, as copper is the good conductor of electricity but faces resistance at the point of contact between the two workpieces. This resistance generates the heat at metal-to-metal interface and causes the two metals in contact to melt. Then the pressure causes the molten metal to fuse together, and thus a solid bond is formed. Application of spot welding. Spot welding is used for welding thin sheets together. In the manufacturing of fuel tanks, joining vehicle body parts, radiators, wire ends, etc. Advantages of spot welding. The process can be automated. The process is simpler. No filler metal is required. Low or no fumes is generated. The high welding rate is possible. Limitations of the spot welding process. The initial cost is high. Low strength due to discontinuous weld. The process is limited to the thickness of the metal. Seam welding. In seam welding, the workpiece is supported on both sides by a pair of electrodes. These electrodes are in the form of rollers to produce a continuous weld on the workpiece. Continuous spot welding is known as seam welding. The working principle of seam welding is similar to that of resistance spot welding. Equipment are components used in the process. Seam welding machine and roller electrodes. Working of seam welding. When the power is turned on, the transformer supplies the low voltage high current to the roller electrodes. Made up of conductive materials. These roller electrodes support the pair of workpieces to be welded together. When the rollers are made to contact the workpiece, the current flows easily through the roller electrodes with a low resistance, but experiences a high resistance at the metal-to-metal interface, that is between the upper plate and lower plate to be joined. Thus high resistance to the flow of current, offered by the pair of workpiece, raises the temperature to the fusion point between the workpiece interface, and a weld is generated in the form of a nugget. Nugget is a weld between the two workpiece interfaces. Application of seam welding process. Welding of transformer, paint containers. Welding of gasoline tanks. Automobile mufflers. Welding of sheet metal tanks. Advantages of seam welding. It can generate a leak-proof weld. The production rate is high. Dissimilar metals can be welded together. No filler metal or flux is needed. The processes can be automatic or semi-automatic. It is possible to weld thin metal sheets with this process. A semi-skilled person can also produce a good weld. Limitations of seam welding. The welding process is suitable for thin sheets only up to a thickness of 3 mm. Since the electrodes are in the form of rollers, they can weld only along a straight line or well-curved path. The process is limited to the lap joints.
So let's take a look at resistance welding. Resistance welding is a fusion welding process that uses a combination of heat, number one is heat, plus number two is pressure, to accomplish coalescence. Coalescence means a melting of material and then mixing of the material. Heat is being generated by electrical resistance. So basically we have got the resistance of the contact, resistance of the bulk material, and then we've got resistance of contact. So basically we are having a resistance of material, and that resistance causes heat energy to increase. This is same thing that you guys have observed in a bulb filament. So bulb filament is basically a resistor, and that resistor basically becomes heated up, and when it becomes heated up it glows. Same is the case in this condition. So resistance welding consists of two opposing electrodes and an alternating current power supply. Resistance welding results in a fusion zone known as weld nugget. So this is basically called weld nugget. Resistance welding uses no shielding gas, no flux, and no filler material. So these are not required. Electrode you use in resistance welding are non-consumable. It means that these electrodes are permanent. These electrodes are not damaged. We can reuse it again and again. Current used in resistance welding is very high, but the voltage used is relatively very low. So in resistance welding, the two things are very important. Number one is the pressure. So pressure is applied with the help of force on the electrode. So when you apply force on the electrode, basically you are trying to compress the material. At the same time, you apply electrical energy in the form of very high current and low voltage, which causes heating and melting of material, and by forcing, applying pressure and heating, it will create a very strong weld. Principal functions of resistance welding are to force the contact between electrodes and work part. So this is electrode, this is work part. So we basically forcing them. Then to press the fairing surface together. So basically when two surfaces touch each other, then they are called the fairing surface. So the surface of these two plates which are touching each other is called the fairing surface. So the fairing surface is joined. Advantages of resistance welding is no filler is required, high production rate, automation is available, required weld skill level is very low, and it has good repeatability and reliability, very reliable joint. Now what are the disadvantages of resistance welding? High equipment cost. Types of joints that can be welded is limited to lap joints only. There are two types of resistance welding, but there are other also, but in this course we will be looking into resistance spot welding and resistance seam welding, RSW and RSEW. So in resistance spot welding, basically the fusion of the fairing surface of a lap joint is achieved at one location. What is lap joint? Lap joint is something in which the one plate overlaps the other plate. Okay, so basically cross sectionally if you look, then this is one plate, bottom plate, and then the top plate overlaps the bottom plate. So this is lap welding. So resistance welding is used to join sheet metal parts using series of spot welds. So you are going to apply spots onto the sheet so that you can create a joint. So spots are used to join the material. Electrode shape can be round, hexagonal, and square. So the electrode can be round, hexagonal, and square. So it can be any cross-sectional area that we want to achieve. Resistance welding machine can be seen that you've got the electrodes, you've got a rocker arm, press type spot welder. So press type spot welder for large work parts. So basically you have the operator foot pedal and you put the plates in between the electrodes and then you press on the pedal. So using this pedal and the rocker arm, the electrode and a force is applied and the plates are clamped together, then electric resistance and current is applied and the plate is joined together. So resistance spot welding has these steps. Number one is that the electrodes come near to each other. Okay, you place the workpiece between the electrode, then you apply the force. Okay, after applying the force, the electrode is now touching, both electrodes are touching the bottom part and the top part of the material, and the workpiece is also touching each other. Then the force and current both are applied so that a weld nugget is formed and coalescence is formed. So after coalescence, which is basically melting of material, then the weld nugget is formed later on. So the force remains in place and current is stopped. So here you can see in this time, force remains but the current is gradually reduced. So after the force is removed, then the joint is obtained. Okay, so here is an example. In number one part, no force and no current is present. Here you can see no force and no current. Then in part 2 we apply force, then in part 3 we apply current, then in part 4 we apply key force only, and perhaps there is some residual current which remains, which stays, so that we can apply or keep applying some amount of heat energy, and at the end, at last but not least, the force is gradually removed at the end of the step number 4. So resistance spot welding is used in automotive industries. Okay, we have got car bodies are such as body in white, BIW, A pillar, B pillar, the sheet of the car, the front bonnet, the back parts, they are all required to be spot welded. A typical car body has around 10,000 individual spot welds. So this is basically a robotic arm in which you have got 2 electrodes, and these electrodes will apply spot welds in different directions, and they have got different degree of freedom, movement, rotational, translation, something like that. So this was all about resistance spot welding. Now we move on to resistance seam welding. In resistance seam welding, the electrode are in the form of a rollers or electrode wheels. Okay, as the electrode moves, the workpiece moves in between and the seam or a weld is created similarly. So in resistance seam welding, stick shape electrodes are replaced with rotating wheels, and in these rotating wheels I am going to pass the current. Okay, so as they are in contact, they will slowly create the welding in between these two plates. So resistance welding is used, seam welding is used for the production of gasoline tanks, automobile mufflers, and in various sheet metal containers. The spacing between the weld nugget depend on the motion of the electrode wheels. Okay, so continuous motion welding is present. So resistance seam welding has 3 types: continuous motion welding, roll spot welding. So in part A, here you can see that continuous motion welding occurs. Wheel is rotated continuously at constant velocity. Current is turned on at timing intervals. So basically current on, then off, then on, then off, then on, then off, so that a desired spacing between spot weld is obtained. Roll spot welding, here you can see that the frequency is reduced to create spacing between the weld spot. So the frequency of the current, the time interval between current is reduced so that we can control the time or the weld nugget spacing. So the frequency is basically the one which is a function or which causes space interval between the weld nugget to change. Welding current remains on a constant level as shown in part C. So continuous weld seam is produced. So if you want to basically create a full continuous seam, then you have to create or you have to supply constant current. So here we have got continuous roll spot welding and welding current, in which the welding current remain constant and a continuous seam of weld is created. So these are different types of spots which are created and can be controlled with the help of current or velocity. Then we have frequency, and then we have got continuous current. So this was all about resistance welding and the types of welding which are associated with resistance, such as resistance spot welding and resistance seam welding. So next we are going to move on to oxy-fuel gas welding. Okay, arc welding has been covered, resistance welding has been covered. So as the name suggests, it should be associated with gas. So we are going to basically burn a gas, okay, and that gas is going to create heat, and with the help of gaseous heat we are going to create a melt pool and a joint in the form of weld. So oxy gas welding or oxy-fuel gas welding, OFW. Oxy-fuel gas welding describes a group of fusion welding process or operation that burns various fuel mixed with oxygen to perform welding. So you've got acetylene, okay, C2H2, and then we are going to mix it with oxygen so that it can burn with the help of a lighter or an igniter, and the welding torch is basically the one in which mixing takes place. So in welding torch, acetylene and oxygen combines, and they are basically combines in the form of heat energy. They burn and they produces huge amount of exothermic reaction, causing heat energy to be produced. This heat energy can be used to melt the filler material, and it can be used to melt the base material. Oxyacetylene is performed by high temperature flame from the combustion of oxygen and acetylene. So they both combine to produce heat energy. Acetylene C2H2 formula is the most popular fuel since it is capable of producing temperature higher than 3480 degree centigrade. The flame in oxyacetylene welding is produced in two stages. Okay, so we have got this torch, and when the gas exit the torch, okay, then we have got a flame which is produced. This is called a flame. Now the flame has two stages. Stage number one is the inner core. Now as you can see, in the inner core the temperature is 3480 degrees centigrade. The second stage is shown is called the outer envelope. The maximum temperature is at the tip of the inner core. So you can see that the inner core, that at the tip of the inner core we have got the maximum temperature. Then we have got the second core which is called acetylene feather, and the temperature is 2090 degrees centigrade. And then we have got the outer envelope. Onto the tip we have the temperature of 1260 degrees centigrade. During welding, the outer envelope spreads out and covers the work surface, thus providing shielding from the surrounding atmosphere. So the function of outer envelope is to shield the base material from surrounding atmosphere. Oxyacetylene equipment is relatively very cheap. It is not expensive. It is very easy to carry because it is very much portable. Oxyacetylene welding is therefore economical and versatile and suitable for low quality production and repair job. That is why when you go to different automotive repair shops or other machine shops, you can see that they have got oxyacetylene welding for carrying out quick repairs and minor repairs. So now that we have covered oxyacetylene gas welding, we have covered fusion welding. Now we are going to move on to solid state welding. What is solid state welding, and what is the one of the type which is called friction welding? So let's move on to solid state welding. In solid state welding, covalence is achieved. So the molten weld pool material, okay, the molten or the melting of material is achieved by pressure alone or heat plus pressure. Okay, so either I will only apply a force, and using the application of force, either quickly I will apply force or very strong force I will apply, or in the form of reciprocating motion I will apply a force to create heat energy. So I have got one material, I have got another material, I join them together, I rub my hands. When I rub my hands, heat energy is generated. So with the help of force and pressure, I can create heat energy, and because of heat energy I can create a lot of temperature increase, and when the temperature increases more than the melting point, then the material becomes plastic and it tries to melt or becomes joint with the help of, or with the passage of heating, or sorry, with the passage of cooling. So no filler material is used in solid state welding. Two metals must be brought into an intimate contact. So the metals which I want to join, I should make them very near and they should be touching each other. Normally intimate contact is prohibited by the presence of chemical films, oil, grease and so on. So basically if you have got oil, if you got grease, if you got other contaminants, you need to clean the surface and you need to basically make these oil, gas and water removed from the surface. Therefore in solid state welding the surface must be very clean. Then the two surfaces are brought very close to each other to permit atomic bonding. So after I am applying the pressure, because of the pressure and maybe perhaps friction, bonding takes place due to that process. The one of the example of solid state welding is friction welding. In friction welding, the coalescence is achieved by frictional heat combined with pressure. So basically, because of the friction, heat is produced, and I am also at the same time applying pressure. So I will post a video so that you guys can see how friction welding occurs. Friction is produced by mechanical rubbing between two surfaces. This raises the temperature at the joint interface. The parts are driven towards each other with sufficient force to form a metallurgical bond. So after the friction is created and after the heat is produced, okay, then they cool down later on to form a metallurgical bond. Flash will be produced which should be trimmed. So basically what happens is that some extra material comes out, okay, and that extra material is called flash. So that extra material I have to chop it off by using different machining operation. No filler or flux is required. Friction welding is used for very mass production because it has very short cycle time. I can quickly create a surface, I can quickly create a weld and then I can replace the part with another weld that I need to create. So it has very short cycle time. Friction welding is applied in making various shafts, tubular parts. So tubular parts means something which is in the form of tubes, okay. So tubes and pipes and shafts can be created or they can be joined together with the help of friction welding. It is used in automotive, aircraft, farm equipment, petroleum, natural gas industries, and it can be used to join dissimilar material. So this is such as steel. So this is iron based steel, this is copper. So I can join different materials with the help of friction welding. So in friction welding, as an example, I will show you, we have got a rotating pipe component, and then we have got another component which is fixed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this rotating component approach the pipe component. So as it moves and as it moves and touches this part, then huge amount of friction is generated because one is moving and one is not moving. So the moving part creates huge amount of friction. When the friction is generated, then what happens is that the material basically becomes heated up and it basically joins together and some flash is generated, and that flash needs to be later on removed and cut off using turning operation or any other machining operation. So this is how friction welding takes place. So this was all about friction welding, which is an example of solid state welding. I will put a video so that you guys can visualize how friction welding takes place. Thank you for listening.